What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the No Bullies podcast. I got me a special one today. I'm about to smoke a special Padron today just for this interview right here, because this is one of my special people, man. This is like my number one person in the bully game, man. This is somebody that I came up with in life. We met in 1998, way before the dogs. So the love that we share for each other, man, is deeper than dogs, man. This is just like my family. It's just a blessing that we could actually do this together with Duval Bullies. It's such an honor and a pleasure to do this with him, to actually build Duval Bullies into what it is, man, and all of our kennel partners, man. It's a good thing that it's a blessing that I can actually call him almost every day, and get knowledge, get wisdom from him. And let's just get it popping, man. I don't want to wait any longer. Let's get it popping. What's good, everybody? Welcome again to the No Bullish podcast. Right now, I'm about to bring on my boy Tone Roldan. What's going on, fam?
What up, am I on?
Yeah, you definitely on. You on?
I thought I was on for the last 10 minutes. I've been talking to
nah, I just had you in like the purgatory right there. I had you in video purgatory real quick. I had to light up my special padrone, man.
Okay, I see you.
This is a $23 stick right here, man. So I had to light this up for my
Damn.
special guest, man. So what's going on, fam?
Chilling. Shit, just getting done with these puppies.
I'm glad I can get you on, man. You Tone has 2 litters as usual, dropping. It seems to happen like that all the time. It always comes in pairs.
Yeah, I mean, shit, we just got a lot of bitches. You already know.
And that's where I get my lessons from. The stack up on bitches. That's lesson number 1. Stack up on your bitches, man. Make sure you have plenty of females, man. So when it's time to do breeders, man, you can knock them out, man. You can knock them out, and you can go through your generations. How many generations are you on right now with the American Bullies?
Probably 3 or 4. I'm not really sure. I don't really keep up as much as most people do, but about 3 or 4 in there.
How about the French Bulldogs? Have you kept up with that?
I think we're on our first or second generation. We just getting started.
All right, cool. All right. Can you talk to us about how you first came into American Bullies? First, you started off with American Pit Bull Terrier. Am I right?
I did, but I thought I had a bully.
Okay. Can you explain all of that to us, brother?
Yeah, basically, I just got I was looking to get into to the breed. I used to own pit bulls in New York when I was a kid, and decided when I became an adult, I wanted to get another pit bull. But then I started seeing these bullies, pit bulls on roids, just way bigger, way bullier. So I wanted one of those. Started hitting a couple cats up, and prices was $1,500, $2,000. And just like all newcomers, I was like, hell nah, shit, I'm gonna find one of these Craigslist dogs and spend this $200 and show everybody I could do it with a $200 dog. So I wound up finding Snoop, Craigslist, $200 or something like that, and just wanted to prove, to the world that pit bulls wasn't aggressive, and just were training them, and eventually found the Abkc and threw Snoop in there for the first time, and that nigga won, and it took off. You know what I'm saying? So I was happy as hell. You can't tell me nothing else after that.
So you started off with Snoop. Was he ranked in? Did you end up getting him ranked in the Abkc with American Pit Bull Terriers? What
Eventually,
special? And what number were y'all at?
He was just I showed him in a pit bull. I mean, an American bully class, because that's all they had at the time. So it was 6 to 9. American bully, 9 to 12, 1 to 2, and he was just losing. All the judges telling me he's a pit bull. So hey, Tone.
Hey, I was trying to get out the camera.
She all invaded my show, man. Look at her,
man.
Out
of the camera.
It's all good, man.
Yeah, so he was taking super losses, second and thirds for the longest, and eventually, they came out with the Pit Bull Terrier class, and most of the judges were telling me that's where he belonged. I put him in there, and eventually Snoop became number 1.
Oh, so he was actually the number 1 American Pit Bull Terrier in the Abkc when you put him in his proper class.
When I put him in his proper class, that was the first year they came out with APBT, so there wasn't many APBT showing like that, but yeah, I mean, it was enough for a top 10, and he became number 1 that first year, and that was it for Snoop. But that was my introduction to getting into Abkc and American Bully, and then me knowing the difference between a pit bull and a bully.
So when you started showing, because that's a whole nother level versus just owning, and breeding dogs, a pit bull terrier or even American bullies. Can you explain the differences that you learned when your first few shows But I'm not going to talk about like when you blew up, when you knew. I'm saying, can you explain like the mistakes that you made, things that you learned, little tips that people gave you when you first came into the game?
Well, when I first started showing Snoop in the American Bully class, judges kept telling me he was lacking type, lacking breed type, lacking breed type. And I'm like, what the hell is breed type? You know what I'm saying? And oh, he's just lacking bone. He has a more snipier muzzle. Has more defined muscle. He looks more of Terrier. Okay, but what's breed type? You know what I'm saying? Like, I hear what y'all saying, but what's breed type? And then, judges like Tavoris was one of them. Tavoris was a judge, and Errol. I remember both of these guys way back then. This is 10 years ago when I first started, kind of guiding me and showing me the difference between, a pit bull. Look, okay, Snoop just got second place to this dog, but this is why. Look at the blockier muzzle. Look at the more top skull. Look at the more bone. In my mind, it was, look at Snoop's top line. Look at his rear angulation. Look at his straight fronts. To the standard, his structure's on point.
Right.
But he was he was clearly,
as far as mass and
right.
the muzzle, the head type, right. What breed type really means. You started really understanding what that
even
meant.
In the classic class at that time. This was 9 years ago. So even then it was like, damn, they were telling me Snoop was APDT in the classic class way back then. So it was like, cool, I understood and I moved on. And but just understanding what the judges tell you when you take a loss in the ring or anything like that, make sure you talk to the judges and get that advice, because sometimes they will give you a bullshit answer because they don't remember. But most of the time, if you keep asking them, they'll remember you and they'll actually know that, this dude, if he takes this L, he's going to ask me. So I need to give him a legit answer and, learn from that. And that's pretty much what I did, just learn from dealing with Snoop, and eventually got Waffle House.
Okay, so you got Waffle House. This is your first American Bully, right?
Right.
So how was the transition between an American Pit Bull Terrier and an American Bully when you first got it? Did you actually were you actually confused? Did you study a little bit more so you could figure out the big differences between, or did you already know?
I mean, I could see the differences in the dogs and the puppy, like Snoop when he was a puppy, and then Waffle when he was a puppy. Waffle was much more compact, shorter muzzle, more thicker puppy. And, my mind at that time wasn't so much on breeding and all this breed type stuff and all the stuff that judges think about. I was just looking for a dog that could win and, can just go in the show ring and win. And that was my main goal at that time. You know what I'm saying? Now it's obviously Waffle House doing other things, but at that time it was just strictly getting into the show ring.
So when you first got Waffle House, was it 2000 and ending in 2015, beginning of 2016?
Something like that. He's 6 now, so yeah, something like that.
So, all right, you got Waffle House. You started training him up to show. Can you tell us the differences between showing the two dogs? Are there any differences between the energy, between the stubbornness of the dogs? Can you explain how the transition between the two dogs' attitudes were from Pit Bull Terrier to an American Bully when you were showing from Snoop to Waffle House?
Well, I mean, a pit bull is, has more drive than, Bully is meant to be a companion dog, sit on your couch, chill with you, be laid back, where, American Pit Bull Terrier has more drive. They're looking to please you like all the time. They need something to do. So it was super easy for me to train Snoop and get him to do tricks. And, he was my first dog ever, obviously. So everybody with their first dog, they do the most with it. And then when I got Waffle House, like my whole vision of training was different. You know, with Snoop, I was wanting to train him to sit, stand, stay, roll over, speak, do all this crazy stuff. With Waffle was like, okay, I need to teach him to stay still and stack and show me his teeth and gait around the ring and be confident. So it was my mindset of training just changed over time. You know what I'm saying? So I would say, of course, APBT is way easier to train because that's what they're kind of bred to do, is just please and drive and do other shit, do shit they want to do. But bullies is, you just got to work more with a bully over time and just be consistent with your training with a bully versus with a more driven
football terrier. So my all right, I want to get into this. 2016, I got my first pet. It was Bane. And the first thing you told me, I wasn't part of Duval Bullies. You were a member of I apologize. Black Label. I apologize. Black Label, the one of the top American bully group when it came to a collective kennel groups collective kennel groups coming together and showing under one banner. Can you tell us how that transition was when you came into and basically an elite group of show handlers headed by Kino Aries? That's how you say his last name? Arrayos. Can you explain how that transition was from not being in a group to coming into a group where there is a lot of knowledge and a lot of veterans in that game? Was it an easy transition? Did you soak up all the knowledge that was given to you when you were in that group?
Hell yeah. I mean, that's the whole reason I got into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was doing my own thing. And, I looked up to people like Keno, Anthony Gray. They were handling out there, doing it real big.
Socks and Crocs.
Socks and Crocs all day. Them boys like that every show. So, damn, how do I rub elbows with these guys? You know what I'm saying? So at first it became competing against them, wanting to beat the best. And then, getting in that ring, competing with them, rubbing elbows, talking after the show, during shows. You keep hitting enough shows, you keep seeing the same people, you're going to build relationships, and eventually Keno extended the offer for Black Label. And at that time, it was an opportunity for me to grow who I was, meet new people, compete, and just expand myself. And Duval Bullies at that time, which was kind of just cranking up. And that's what I did, you know what I'm saying? I jumped in Black Label. We went around the country. We kicked ass with all kind of dogs. And it was awesome, you know what I'm saying? Eventually, we obviously grew as our own kennel, Duval. As we grew, slowly I had to separate myself from Black Label as well.
Okay, let's go backwards. I wanted to save that for a little bit later. I wanted to harp a little bit more on your success, man, on your amazing ride on coming up in the bully game, because 2016 was a very memorable time getting to actually I'm not going to say know you, but know you as a dog handler, because when I first got Bane, first thing you said was, what his pedigree is. What's his pedigree? Now I was like, what the fuck is a pedigree? I don't know what pedigree. Like, I guess when people, when I felt just like you, when somebody told you about the standard or breed type, you were confused. You was like, what? So I was like, I didn't know what the hell a pedigree was. Right. And now I know definitely how important a pedigree is. And I looked and I came back to you. I was like, I don't know, but it got Dax in it. It got Dax in his pedigree. You was like, the first thing you said to me was, "Oh Lord." That's your classic "Oh Lord" that you gave me And I knew, I was like, what? You know, you was like, man, just because it got Dax in it don't mean it's a nice dog. But I wasn't trying to show. I just needed a pet, you know. I just wanted a pet dog, you know, but you kind of turned my my scent to finding out what a pedigree was, you know, what's this show thing. And that year, can you explain to us in 2016 how, as a handler, how many dogs you champed and grand champed out in 2016? This is amazing, everybody.
I can't really remember exactly. I mean,
Yeah, you're being humble, man, but just give us a guesstimate.
I mean, it was a lot. I know I made posts about it years ago. I'm sure it's 30, 40, 50 at that time. I mean, now in my career, you know, I just say I got over 100 dogs champed out, you know, over 25, 50 dogs grand champed. And I just say that because I really just stopped keeping up. But at that time, you know, for me, it was whatever the number was, it was a lot, but it was multiple breeds. I did a lot of shorty bulls. Shorty bulls was kind of just coming up at that time. And I did a lot of shorty bulls, a lot of bullies, a lot of APBTs once Snoop was done. And I just showed a lot of multiple breeds. Frenchies, I was just getting into showing Frenchies, and that's kind of what grew me into liking Frenchies. And I just handled a shitload of dogs, and over time, you know, the number in 2000, whatever year it was at that time, it was a lot. But you know, I handled at that time. I was doing 10 dogs a event. You know, I would show to an event and show 10 dogs, and you know, out of that show, I would champ one out, and then the next show, another 10 dogs, and that's a continuation from the last show. And these dogs only need half the point, so every show is like I was champing another dog out. And once you become a handler for real, I mean, that's what you got to be doing. You got to be traveling, got to be handling, you know, multiple dogs. But as I kept handling these multiple dogs, every dog obviously is not winning. I'm showing 10 dogs, but 10 dogs not champing out. So the judges start talking to me and eventually telling me that I need to handle better dogs. Hey man, you're making good money out here handling this shit. You're doing great, but you're a representation of us. You know what I'm saying? If you're handling shitty dogs, we can't give you wins. You know what I'm saying? So eventually I start cutting my dogs down. And
this is what they're saying in Black Label, or were the judges telling you? It was just Black Label telling you this?
No, judges, you know, like I said, when you take an L, you know, make sure you talk to the judges, especially when you're handling for somebody else. That way your client knows why they lost. You know, it's just not like, oh shit, I paid this dude $30 to go in the ring and he walked around a couple circles and walks out. You know, I wanted them to know, hey, I tried my best. The judge said this is why. The other dogs I was in front, you know, had this, that. Your dog doesn't have this, that. And then, you know, it's, you know, you're on to the next dog pretty much. But it was fun.
Right. After that year, during that year, I'm sorry, were you showing Waffle House at this time? Because I know he was a puppy. Can you tell us that experience with working with Waffle House from when he was a puppy to his grand champion title?
Yeah, basically, Waffle, I started him young, maybe 12 weeks. His first time was in the show ring. As soon as he hit 3 months, threw him in there, he won. That was, you know, was a lot of good judges there that I looked up to at that time that were real knowledgeable. And, you know, it gave me that boost of confidence that I needed. And we just kept showing Waffle until he had 6 months. He had 6 months, and then eventually I met Keno at a Virginia show. This is the first time I think I met Dave Wilson as well. Maybe not. Maybe the first time that me and Dave, you know, actually talked about doing some type of business. But that was the first time, you know, a lot of people were at this Virginia show, and Waffle did. I actually let Keno show Waffle. It was his first time for points. Keno wound up getting a major, some points. I was super happy as hell. And I was showing some other dogs. I wound up winning Best in Show with like some Shorty Bull or something. But that was the beginning for me to know Waffle had it. You know what I'm saying? So right after that show, I kept handling him. He champed out at 8 months, 5 days old or something like that, 15 days old. And then, the grand
8 months, 8 months, 4 days.
Yeah. I think Shots was like the same age or something.
Same shots fired, champed out the same age. 8 months, 4 days is his father.
Like, John Wayne or one of those champed out, I think, at the same time too.
That's amazing. So, speaking on Waffle House, so let's stay on him. When you first your first production with him was what, or your first breeding with him was when? All right, when somebody first seen you with Waffle House and said, "Listen, I want to breed to that dog." How did that feel, and how did you go about that with your first breeding?
I can't even remember it, honestly. Yeah, I can't. I really don't remember it.
Your first breeding with Waffle House, what was it? Do you remember?
Nah, I don't. It wasn't mine.
I can remember your first breeding with Waffle House.
I remember, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Nah, your first breeding, in-house breeding with Waffle House.
My first breeding was Quinn, Waffle and Kiki.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking with Kino. Obviously I got Waffle from Kino. So what's the best thing I need to breed Waffle? Kino was real high on a lot of Ed's blood and Rock and Ruby stuff like that, Remy, and a lot of old school stuff. He's an old school breeder, so he was fond on a lot of old school stuff, obviously. And so I bought Kiki. She was heavy on the Rock and Ruby side. So that's what I rocked with. I got her. I bought her from a guy up y'all's way. I think he was in Jersey or something like that. And she was my first breeding. She wound up giving me 7 pups. It was like the most craziest thing I ever went through breeding her. As far as progesterones, we did like 14 progesterones.
Damn. But did she have a reverse heat or something like that? Or
actually, I had just got her. So when I got her, I took her to a show, and just the stress of her coming from Jersey to Florida, from Florida to Atlanta, wherever we was at, to a show, made her start bleeding. So I thought the blood was heat. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh shit, bitch is in heat. We're gonna start counting 5, 6 days, go do progesterone. And really it was blood from stress. You know what I'm saying? Which I thought was heat blood, it was stress blood. So we're doing all these progesterones, and my vet's like, shit, she's in heat. She just ain't rising. We did 14 of them. On day 24 or something like that, she was eventually ready, and we did the breeding, and we had Quinn's litter, and it was awesome.
So I purchased the Harley Quinn Loves Joker from that litter. That was my third American. Matter of fact, I think it was my third American bully that I bought was Harley Quinn Loves Joker. And she produced for me Champion Gorilla Zoe, which is owned by the Marshalls, which is also in Duval Bullies. Thank you for trusting me with her, man. She's one of our favorite dogs over here. I remember that breeding because that was your first international sale to Europe with that litter. That boy was a gorilla. What was his name? Do you remember?
I think it was Bugsy. Was it Bugsy?
Bugsy.
Yeah.
I think it was Bugsy.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So you noticed that litter. Did you notice that Waffle House took over that litter as far as with its pheno and genotype when you first produced that litter?
Again, at that time, I was just I was still learning. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was just looking for structure. I'm looking for the best top line, good angulation, good this, good that. I wasn't so concerned of how much Waffle threw and how much Kiki threw. Of course, when you talk about it, it's like, oh shit, my boy's a producer. But at that time, I just really wasn't looking for that. I had just came off of doing my first couple other breedings with Deja, where she had one puppy twice. And I took major losses, paid stud fees, lost all this, shit. She couldn't have pups. And I was just happy to have a litter at this time. I think she had like 6 puppies. I can't remember what Kiki had.
So all right, so after having 6 puppies, you couple of hardships in your the breeding career. When did everything start moving in motion? Let's not speak on the transition. Let's stay on the razor's edge blood that you kept doing, because I know you did that for a little while. Um, can you speak to us about when you started seeing it rev up the puppies from Waffle House, when you was doing those razor's edge breedings?
Well, I was promoting Waffle House a lot as a puppy. So as he, from 6 to 12 months, we locked in a few people at super low prices. And, it was just pretty much a waiting game. So I wound up breeding a Waffle. We had our little litter. And slowly but surely, him going to shows and, promoting him, people started locking him in and using him and, inquiring about him. And then, before I kept my foot on the gas using them, I wanted to see what other people did as far as how they used them. How did, Joe Blow over here use them with his bistro blood? How this person does with his this blood, that blood. And at that time, I co-owned Waffle House. Me and Kino co-owned Waffle House. So all the decisions that were made with Waffle House were between both of us. And Kino, we turned down tons of dogs, because Kino wasn't a fan of Dak's blood and things like that. Eventually, in doing my handling, I ran into Tommy Sorrow, and he had these amazing Gotti line dogs. I was just handling for his dogs, just winning with his dogs. And I remember he brings this female Rizzy to the show.
Infamous dog now.
She didn't do no like crazy winning or nothing. She was a little timid.
I'm saying for her breeding career, she's infamous. She's GOAT status, man. Right there. People mention Waffle House, Waffle House is one of the greatest studs, in my opinion, one of the greatest studs in American bully history. And but some people forget about the bitches that are bred to these really good studs. Some of these females are just as good as the stud as far as production wise, and I think Charisma and Waffle House was a perfect match.
Oh yeah, I mean, before we get into the breeding, it was just more of him bringing that dog to the show, and Kino seeing the dog and it's like, damn, that's a bitch, she could win the whole show. She's got potential to win. I'm like, hell yeah. So we wound up showing her. She didn't win. I think she got like first in her class, but nothing,
no majors.
No majors, nothing to brag about. But I wound up talking with Tommy, and he's wanting to breed the Waffle House. I'm like, shit, she's a Gotti dog. She's all Dax. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kino ain't gonna fly for that. Hit Kino. He's like, nah, man, I don't think we should do it. This time, me and Tommy's building up a relationship. We're becoming friends. And then, I'm wanting to risk it a little bit, in the game. It was like, shit, we done did a bunch of raises as breedings. We see what the dogs are doing. Let's do this. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I'm gonna hook my boy up and let him use Waffle House, and we'll just see what happens. You know what I'm saying? And
so, all right. So let's get back. All right. So Kino, at this point, did you buy Waffle House outright from Kino before you did that breeding?
No, actually, we wound up getting a pup back from that breeding, and we did the deal with Tommy or whatever. I talked Kino into letting us do it or whatever, and we did the breeding. Obviously, it was a success. All the dogs came out nice. It's like, wow. For me, it was like, wow, this is what this blood does with this. For Kino, it was more like probably, he probably thought it was luck. Because, breeding is a lot of luck into it. You know what I'm saying? As far as the money you put into it, the things you do, and hope what you get out of it. But Yeah, shit. I mean, it worked out, and yeah, kind of opened my eyes of what Waffle could do, and eventually, just over time, Keno gave me the opportunity to purchase him and buy him out, and I just did it. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like he was my dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking care of him. I'm doing everything with him. This was probably when Waffle was 3 or 4 years old. We co-owned him for a long time. So I just wanted him to be mine, you know what I'm saying? So I paid him off or whatever, and just kept doing my thing with him, and that was pretty much it.
So I remember you had a breeding with Demon Boy. I think it was with Kiki, right?
With Kiki, yeah.
All right, so you did a breeding with Demon Boy and Kiki. I was so excited for that breeding. Like I was giddy, like really excited for that breeding. Like I thought, okay, I'm gonna get my second pick male from this. You was like, yeah, you get second pick male. We have second pick male. One male. Rest bitches, man. I was sick. I was having a hissy fit, man. I fucking was like pissed off. I was like, fuck this shit. Because Demon Boy is probably my favorite American bully when it comes to males in this game. Besides Waffle House, he was at that time my favorite American bully, and I was like, yo, man, and to have a possibility to own a pup from a dog like that is a big thing. It's not a small task. It's a very big thing. It was a very big thing to me. So you had that one male, and I was like, fuck, man. You was like, man, I got all the females sold. All of this first pick male is gone. And I was like, man, what the fuck, man? You was like, look, but I did this breeder with Tommy Sorrow. I was like, who the fuck is Tommy Sorrow? I didn't know who Tommy Sorrow. I'm like, who's Tommy Sorrow, man? With Waffle House. And no disrespect to Waffle House, but I was like, man, I don't want a dog off Waffle, man. I wanted fucking Demon Boy, man. I wanted the fucking Demon Boy pup. I didn't want no Waffle House pup. Then you inboxed me, which quickly changed my mind. You sent me a picture with you stacking up your pick from that breeding, which was shots fired. And I was like, oh shit. Okay, so let's drop this Demon Boy shit right now and let's look into this dog right here. But I didn't understand the pedigree behind this dog. I didn't understand none of that. I didn't understand how important the mix and match was of the top and bottom pedigree, which is like one of the best pedigrees that I have in my yard, one of the best pedigrees that I had in my yard at that time. So I jumped right on it and bought them. And it is what it is. You see that shirt that you wearing, that's him right there.
We didn't even know at that time. It was like, Tommy wound up getting his female as an adult from somebody who couldn't get her pregnant or something. She couldn't have litters. It was like, man, I'll take her.
Let's talk about that. So he bought a female that they were doing AIs and TCIs on.
Probably just AIs,
Just regular AIs, and she couldn't, and she wasn't taken. So they basically cut their losses, sold this dog to Tommy Sorrow. Tommy Sorrow bred her with Waffle House and ended up having how many puppies in that litter?
10 puppies.
10 puppies in that litter. Now,
he did a surgical.
He did a surgical. He did no AIs, no TCI. He did a straight surgical. He wasn't playing.
Yeah.
So, can you explain to me when that litter dropped? When you went and first seen that litter, when you stacked up shots fired, what was the feeling when you seen him and you picked him up and you I know you stacked all of them. I know you stacked all available ones. Not the one that he had, but the other ones you were trying to find your pick. What made you pick shots fired out of all of those dogs?
But this time, I was just excited. It's kind of like my first my first approved female. You know what I'm saying? Like everything was kind of running through Kino, and if he liked it, cool, we ran it. If he didn't, we didn't do nothing with it. So this was kind of my first one where it was like, if this doesn't work out, it's on you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, cool. I'll take that risk. And I remember seeing the puppies growing up through Tommy's phone, and eventually driving up to Atlanta, and just to make our pick and seeing.
That's a 6-hour drive right there.
Yeah, about 6
hours. 6 hours.
So it was just, for me, it was exciting. It's the beginning. At this time, 6 hours wasn't nothing. It was like, we just knocked this out. It was like going to a show. And we seen it was actually a show that weekend. Mm-hmm. Bringing the puppies to the show to let Kino choose what he thought was first or second or third or whatever. And it was just a it was a big difference from watching Waffle breed to Edge dogs and watching Waffle breed to and Waffle does great with Edge dogs as well. There's plenty of Edge dogs. There's Champ, Grand Champ, Bully as hell, all that good shit. But it was a big difference seeing it with this litter. So I was like, damn. And then shots fired just was, Tiny they call him Tiny because he was the smallest puppy in the litter. He was super tiny. He was compact, but he didn't have the rear that Shots had. Shots was just super boned up. He had a good point of his chest, was poked out. He was just a super nice puppy, so it was pretty easy decision after stacking all of them which one was the number one pup.
Yo, man, I'm so grateful for that pick right there, man. I'm so grateful for that because you actually handed me what I would call a historical dog, man. When it comes to in and out of the show ring, man, he's following in his father's footsteps, and it's an honor to actually have a dog like that, man. And I thank you all the time, as much times as you and Tommy Sorrow for giving me that opportunity to have that dog. So out of that litter, with Charisma and Waffle House, they did something as a pairing that no dog in the history of the Abkc has ever done, which was produce 4 grand champions in one litter. Can you tell me how happy you were and how that feeling was? Probably more on Tommy Sorrow, but it falls on your dog too as a stud to be a part of that. Can you explain how grateful you were for that to happen?
For like you said, it was more for Tommy. You know what I'm saying? He produced the litter, and it was happening so fast. You know what I'm saying? It was hard to at this time, a lot of Waffles was champing. It was like they were champing from all these different litters, and then you got Grands coming, and so it was like I can't remember who did it first. It was like Vegas got Grand, and Shots, Tiny, Houdini. It was like so fast. Before we knew it was a bunch of them up there, and I didn't realize what I really had. I knew Waffle was a great stud, you know what I'm saying, because at that time I didn't breed them that much. It was just some minimal litters and a lot of champions, minimal litters, a lot of champs and grand champs. And it was just like, damn, maybe he is that good, you know what I'm saying? And breeding him around and letting them breed to different stuff and seeing that everything's working pretty much. Of course, there's things that don't blend well with Waffle House, and but it's all, when you have a stud, you have to experiment. That's my advice to you all, is experiment, and not saying be no damn exotics shit, no 3-legged dogs or nothing, but take chances, you know what I'm saying? Because you never know, one of your dogs might have a certain thing in it that clicks well with something else across the way, and now So like when we did the Waffle and Rizzy is off a chunk. She has Gotti on the bottom half of her as well with Dax. So she's like 2-3 times Dax. and Waffle was heavy on the edge side. So when we did it, it was like, okay, cool. Waffle clicked with Chunk Blood. We did some other chunk breedings after that, with Waffle, just to see, because we seen how well it did with Rizzy, and it worked every time. You know what I'm saying? So now we know that recipe worked. You know what I'm saying? So we kept doing a lot of those mixes, whether it was to Waffle grandson, Waffle granddaughter, to Chunk, vice versa, reversing it. And just experiment, So just don't be scared to experiment and find what works good with your dogs.
So Grand Champion Tiny, Grand Champion Prodigy, Grand Champion Shots Fired, and Grand Champion Baloo out of that litter. Salute to everybody that Grand Champion Baloo passed away. Rest in peace, Grand Champion Blue, owned by Joby. We used to call him. I remember there was a little battle where we were saying his name's Job, man. And his name's Joby. So we had to name him Joby like Kobe inside the group just to get that right. But rest in peace to Grand Champion Baloo. That was a wonderful dog, man. He was just hitting his stride. And I remember we were at the show in North Carolina when he was supposed to show up, and we got the news, and that show didn't feel right. That whole show just felt weird, for it to get that call where it was like, yo, Blue died on his way up here. We were like, what? So shout out to all the grands in that litter. Shout out to all the grand champions and champions of Waffle House, man. Just being a part of owning a part of that dog is it should be a high honor, because to me, he is the top stud or the greatest stud in the Abkc history. I know you don't like saying it. I know you don't like saying it, but let's look at the percentage of dogs that he produced. How many productions towards grand champions? What's the percentage? It's like a very small. How many litters did you say with champions and grand champions in between 20 litters or something like that, to have as many as he had?
I mean, when he was first breeding, it was I can't remember what it was. It was like 12 champions and 79 grand champions and under 10 litters or something like that. Now, obviously, he has way more than 10 litters, but at that time, that was the impressive thing about it. Now he's got 20 champions, 9 grand champions with a few real close, actually.
And that's all within 2025 breedings.
I think he has at least 35 now.
Well, probably. 35, but at that time it was around 20 breedings that you had. Was it less?
It was under 10 at the time, but now, like I said, he's way over.
Yeah. So okay, so Waffle House is doing all of this with breeding. He's a grand champ. When did you grand champ? What age did you grand? Do you remember what age you grand champed him?
Waffle granded at 12 months.
Whew, 12 months.
13 months, yeah, something like that.
Man, 13 months. That's an amazing feat. And Shots Fired grand champ at 13 months as well. This is it's crazy because Shots Fired grand champ in 13 months as well. All right, so after Waffle, you're having all of this success with Waffle House, then comes another opportunity with, rest in peace, grand champion World Star. Can you tell us about that, brother?
Yeah, that same Virginia show when Waffle was 6 months was kind of like the beginning for Ken Thomas to bump into Dave Wilson and Dave to see his female. And, they made the collab to do the Demon Boy and his female at the time. I don't remember her name, World Star's mom. And, time was passed. I guess that was later down the line, but eventually that day though in Virginia, I was kicking ass. I was showing all these dogs. I was doing all this winning. So Ken and Dave seen me, you're like, yo, if something comes out of this litter, that's the guy that needs to have one. And cool, you know what I'm saying? Long story short, Ken eventually posted a breeding, Demon Boy breeding going down. I probably was the first person to hit him. Like, yo, I need in on that litter, you know what I'm saying? That's a Masterpiece daughter. At that time, Masterpiece was super dope.
And you can't get that blood. You can't get that blood anymore. You can't get direct Masterpiece son right now because they put that boy up. They retired him, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's some frozen out there, I'm sure, but yeah, at that time it was just Masterpiece was the man. He was throwing bully ass dogs, so it was like shit. Masterpiece, Pandora, yeah, that was her name, and bred her to Demon Boy. Shit, I knew I had to have one.
Rest in peace to Pandora's box. She also passed as well from a snake bite. That was unfortunate as well. So just wanted to get that out there. Continue, man. My bad.
Yeah, so he hit me up, and I hit him up, and I was like, yo, I need in on that litter, and immediately he was like, hell yeah, you know what I'm saying? Say less, you know what I'm saying? And that was pretty much it. I watched the litter be born. Mo Barrow whelped the litter. Obviously, he's a judge, so I took everything he said and soaked it in about what he thought about the puppies. For me, seeing World Star in the litter was like, I'm looking for something. I had Waffle House. I'm looking for something that not only could win, but something I could promote. And it was like, damn, he looks a lot like Dax. Obviously, everybody knows Dax. So, and I had this name in my head, World Star, for the longest that I've been wanting to use on a dog, and it was perfect. You know what I'm saying? I was like, shit, this is the dog right here. World Star is the one. So I remember Ken brought these 2 or 3 puppies to the shows, Atlanta, one of these shows, and World Star was one of them. So I had the choice. I already talked to Mo. Mo told me what he, thought about. Hey man, this fawn puppy carries the most breed type, really bully. It's gonna be super bull. Doesn't have the best rear. The black and white puppy is probably the most balanced, not as bully, but nice pup. And the other one was like a blue puppy. Same thing, real balanced puppy, not as bully. But I already had my eyes on World Star. I knew what I could do with him. The name fit World Star, so I was like, when Ken came, I already knew I was getting the black and white puppy. So I snatched him up, and that's kind of where it began. You know what I'm saying? Him and Waffle became friends, did hella training with him, and, took him to that first, outside of the puppy class, he was killing it in the puppy class, but when I took him to that first show at 6 months, and I can't even remember how many days, 14, 15, 16 days.
Right.
He became a champion. He wound up getting like all the best of winners that day. A lot of people were pissed off that this puppy is doing all this killing, and he wound up champing out. I didn't even realize I champed him out at that time, on that day. And we're just happy as hell. My puppy was killing it. They're like, shit, you got all these best of winners. He a champion. Like, hell yeah.
So at that time, does he hold the title as the youngest male grand to champ out at this time? Till this day?
Yeah. No, to this day, I'm sure it's not. But at that time, he was the youngest champion. And I didn't even know it. I remember Jerry Presley called me after the show and was like, yo, I think you got the record for the youngest champion in history. I'm like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Y'all leaving? Where y'all going? Ice cream?
Yeah. You want something?
Sure.
Tell my family I said I love them.
Hey.
Hey. Hey, they go my nieces right there. She got a Tupac shirt. What a Duval Bully shirt on. She repping Tupac. Hey, sis.
Hey. It was just a quick change.
All right.
Tupac shirt. It was my mom's
Poetic
shirt,
justice, baby.
It's all good. It's all good, man. One of the greatest rappers, and it goes fit with you. One of the greatest junior handlers in Abkc history. It goes together, man. It goes together.
One of the greatest handlers.
One of the greatest handlers and Abkc, or period. Let's just say period. So all right, let's stay on Waffle House. I mean World Star. So after you champed him out, what was his age at Grand Champion?
It was young too, man. She was probably
because it was quick.
It was 12 months. It wasn't too quick. It was because where World Star made his name was at the Virginia show when Demon Boy showed up. It was the first time Demon Boy came from Ireland, and Demon Boy was the man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody looked for Demon Boy. He had the big head, big body. So when it was Dave Wilson's dog. Dave Wilson's the owner of the registry. So it's like, shit, this he's the standard, you know what I'm saying? And World Star was off of him. Nobody in the country really had Demon Boy blood. So that's kind of made World Star popular. His name, his show style, the way he showed, and he champed out so young. And I taught him how to stack really good to where he was doing like the mannequin challenge. He wouldn't move and shit like that. So when the Virginia show came, it was like we built up all this hype for him versus his dad. And he showed up to that show. They had international judges. All the crews were there at this time. Black Label, Duval, WBA, Elite Edge. I mean, all the crews was there. And World Star shut it down. He stacked against his dad, Demon Boy. At that time, he was only 11 months, and it just showed how big he actually was. I mean, Rocco was there, Mufasa was there, Bear was there. Everybody was there. And while World Star wound up winning the champion class, both shows, it was a 2-show event. He lost the best in breeds to Mufasa and Bear. And let everybody know,
you put everybody on notice.
Yeah, let everybody know who the next star was. He won not only on the sideline stacking with all these great dogs, but then he went in the ring and won both champion classes. And we just rubbed elbows with a hell of a lot of people. And that was the beginning of World Star, you know what I'm saying? And that was his last 2 champion wins, I believe he needed to become grand champion that day too.
So I'm going to say this. I'm going to make a bold statement. With both dogs, if you didn't own you might say different, you might keep it humble, but if you didn't own Grand Champion Waffle House or Grand Champion World Star, they wouldn't have been known as they are known worldwide right now. Do you believe that?
Probably because I grew as well, with them.
Your status, what you were learning, the wheels on this train of your show career was just moving. And as a dog man, you just came into yourself. At that time when you owned Grand Champion Waffle House, your not struggles, but your time with him, and then owning World Star, you was in your stride right there. You was coming into your own as a dog man. And I seen it. I seen it. When I seen Waffle House, World Star, I was like, yo, this dog is crazy. This dog is crazy looking. I remember the mannequin challenge, and I think that right there, as far as putting your dog out there, you put him out there with that one video, that mannequin challenge, because that's when that song came out. I can't remember the name of the song, but it was
a mannequin challenge or some shit.
It was. I don't think it was the mannequin challenge. That was the trend right there from the song, was the mannequin challenge. But I would say you were the first person with a dog ever. I'm talking about period in the world Nah, you was, man, because I'm a DJ and I was up on this challenge. I mean, even to where the point where I was DJing, we was doing a mannequin challenge throughout the whole bowling alley with hundreds of people there, and I was up on it. Everybody was up on this mannequin challenge, and I'm pretty sure people in the chat can even verify this. You were the first person with a dog to actually do that, and it was an amazing moment for you and that dog because it blew up. And the one where you had him itching himself, and it says when you breed to other females from different registries. So those two videos, and it's just you're promoting that, just your brain, the way you was thinking to seize that opportunity at that time to do that. Can you tell us what was going through your head when you first did the mannequin challenge, and the when you breed to other bitches in other registries? Can you tell us what was going through your head when you did that? Because that was the greatest moment, I think, as far as advertising a dog and American bully history right there.
Well, the mannequin challenge kind of, I was big into training, my dogs at that time, and we still are. But I wanted to make World Star like a world star. My goal at that time before he passed was to take him all over the world and, do all kind of shit with him. And, I taught him, I kind of found the mannequin challenge. I was just stacking him every day and finding struggles. He's moving his leg, moving his foot, moving his head. But playing fetch with my dog, playing this with my dog, playing with my dog every day, I wind up finding that when I held that Kong toy, he would freeze. You know what I'm saying? Until I threw it. And I was like, okay, if I can get him to freeze like this while I stack him, you know what I'm saying? Shit, I'm gonna kill the bear. And this time Bear was he was the one winning. So I was like, shit, if I can get him doing this challenge, I'm gonna get him. And at that time, the song was coming out. The challenge was going on, mannequin challenge. It was like just coming out. And it just worked out, you know what I'm saying? He wound up doing the challenge. He wound up standing still. His tail's not moving. His eyes not moving. Like, he doesn't move. If you guys look up the video, it's not, I don't know if it's on, I don't think it's on YouTube. It's on my Instagram and stuff like that. But he wound up not moving. All kind of people, celebrities, everybody's hitting me up. Yo, I thought that shit was a statue till you threw the ball. And, oh, shit, I'm getting all these people hitting me up. And we kind of just lucked into it. It's just perfect timing and shit like that. Then the
Black Beatles. That was the name of the song, Black Beatles.
Yeah. And then the scratch your balls thing, we just hitting shows, and he just always was scratching his balls. And obviously he's off of Demon Boy. So at that time, I'm like super duper loyal to Abkc. So it worked out. When you breathe through the bitches.
People saying you need to repost that one. Which one? The mannequin challenge or the one where he was itching his balls? Which one?
I post them every year when they pop up in my timeline. I comment on it and bring it back up. But yeah, you guys can scroll through my pics and my videos and probably find it faster than I can.
All right. They're saying both videos. Now, I'll try to find it, and I'll try to post it up. I'll definitely try to find it. But those two videos were his monumental moments in the dog game as far as advertising. And then you taught me a lesson. You was even teaching me a lesson before that. You was telling me, yo, promotion is key, man. Promotion is what you need to be doing. You need to know how to do it. You need to know what times to do it. You need to just get up on it, man. You need to just make sure you're always in the forefront, because there's other people are going to promote their dogs, and you got to separate yourself from basically what other people are doing. And bro, I don't think to this day there's anybody that has separated themselves when it came to promotion with that moment right there with the mannequin challenge and the when you breed to other bitches in different registries moment right there.
Yeah, I mean, I just over the years, coming up, I just looked at the people in the game who was killing it. You know what I'm saying? I watched Keno. I watched Robert Lee. I watched the handlers that I admire, like Jerry and like I said, Keno, Julie. A lot of handlers I admired at that time, and you know, molded all my promotion and everything around everybody who was successful in the game. I took a little bit from everybody and did my own thing with it. You know what I'm saying? So the way Robert Lee was making his posts and being funny with it at times, I felt that. You know what I'm saying? The way Keno was promoting the quality pictures and show training, and you know, I took some of that. You know what I'm saying? Even Terrell at that time, I watched how he promoted, you know, his stud, and it gave me ideas, and just so many people that you know, I watched promote that just made me inspired to. It can be done if you know, if you put your mind to it, for real.
So, okay. All right. So Waffle House, grand champion champion Snoop, grand champion Waffle House, grand champion World Star. At this moment, when you look back with those three dogs, I'm saying before World Star passed, did you think, damn, I did this? Like all three of these dogs, this is all me right here. And, well, not all you, because your wife had a big part, you and your family. How was that? How did that help you with people coming up to you, people asking you, yo, what you do to get this, to make your dog stack like that? How did you champ out? Was it overwhelming, the messages and the questions people were asking you at that point in time?
Yeah, at that point in time, it was awesome. You know what I'm saying? I was answering everybody and able to, you know, communicate with everybody. As my page and stuff grew and stuff like that, it became hard to communicate with everybody. But yeah, at that time, it was awesome. You know what I'm saying? It still is to this point, you know, to have people question, you know, ask questions, or, you know, just want to know about my dogs or whatever. You know, it's still overwhelming. But, you know, I never expected to be living a dog life. You know what I'm saying? I was a regular construction guy, and it just kind of fell into my lap with passion. You know what I'm saying? Just having passion for the dogs.
So it's the work that you put in, because the dogs can take you so far, but you have to actually put the work in, and you definitely put the work in, because you showed it with the consistency up to this day. So World Star passed. I don't really want to get, you know, deep into that, but World Star passed. Um, you were smart enough to collect straws from him, just in case anything happened, and that anything happened, and you basically got straws from him. Can you tell us about his productions that you had, or that you have? I know one of them, and it's you have it over seas right now in like the Caribbean islands. Can you explain how that blood basically did his thing? He left us too quick. You know, he left us too quick, and in my opinion, he was like Dax times 10. You know, because he had movement. You could, you know, he was proper. He was on point. So
he was doing his thing. You know, as far as producing, he started producing real well. It was just real. A lot of shit happening, breeding him all the way up until the point he passed. So I learned so much from Waffle House. You know, I wasn't so much in a rush to breed World Star, because now I'm, you know, I have so many people going to use them. I'll watch what these people do, see what works best with Waffle House. With World Star, and then I'll know how to breed them. And then, you know, he was producing well. You know, real consistent. Dogs are looking like him. They're coming out with the same features, all kind of stuff like that. And you know, even still to this point, I'm not 100% sure what works best with World Star. You know what I'm saying? Because we're using frozen straw, so we're not able to experiment. How I said earlier, like I am with Waffle House. So I'm just being patient with the straws I do have, and giving the people the straws that is due them, and just waiting pretty much. I got a couple, but we'll make some magic in the future.
Cool. So Waffle House, champion Snoop, grand champion, Waffle House, grand champion, World Star. All right, World Star passed. After that, how I know we all were at a loss. Just to hear your sadness when he passed. Your family, y'all were really close with this dog, and just to have a dog pass like that was of his status. That he didn't even reach his peak. He wasn't even at his peak. But where did you go from there? Where did you go from there after that loss? Where were you in the dog game? Did you feel like quitting? Did you did you say this is part of the game, but I'm going to bounce back from this? Where was your mindset at?
I mean, when you take a loss like that, with a pretty popular dog, our World Star was at that time, we had tons of people locked in, so we had to refund tons of people money, and you think about just quitting. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, shit, I lost my best dog, my best show dog, should I say, and I just had to refund a shitload of money, and semen has to be distributed, the stuff that we have, so it's like, you think about quitting, you know what I'm saying? But I always had a plan, regardless of things I wanted to do with Waffle House and things I wanted to do with World Star. So at that time, when World Star was on his come up, Waffle was pretty much done showing. He's won as much as he could win, and his kids were actually becoming champion. Shots Fired becoming champion. Tiny's becoming champion. Houdini. So, or right when World Star died, I believe they were becoming champions.
Right.
So it was like, I was waiting for that time. A lot of people probably was like, oh, yeah, shit, when you had World Star, you just left Waffle House behind. But it wasn't nothing like that. It was just waiting. When you have a stud, he only could do so much in the show ring, you know what I'm saying, unless you got this number one dog. Even if you got that number one dog, he only could do so much. And then you got to see what his kids are going to do. So, Waffle's having all these kids. I knew they're in the ring. Joel owns one. Tommy owns one. This guy owns one. All these guys who hit the show ring owns a dog. So at some point, these dogs are going to start winning, and then I'll start my promotion on that phase of Waffle House's life. And then eventually I had that same plan for World Star, but obviously he passed. So, so once he was gone, it was like, all right, cool. I'm going to pick up from here, get back on doing what I was doing with Waffle House now that his kids are winning. And, it just so happened that his kids kept winning and kept winning and kept winning. So it was like, we just took off from there, you know what I'm saying? It was like, we ain't miss a beat.
Right. So that would be your main focus. That would be your in from the out that you just had. Like, okay, my dog passed, but the show got to keep going on because I have Waffle House that's basically keeping the ship floating and keeping everything going. Okay, so let's get past that. I'm gonna go back to Duval Bullies. All right, you, Marco, and your wife are the creators of Duval Bullies. Can you let me know where that came from, Duval Bullies? What instead of naming it something else, why Duval Bullies?
Eventually, when it first started, it was Duval Pits. And
I'm glad that changed.
Yeah, it was Duval Pits, and then I wound up buying this dog from this dude in Indiana. Deja was my first bully, but she was a classic female. And dude's like, yo, you're going to have a bully, you know what I'm saying? You got to be called, Duval Bullies. You can't be Duval Pits because everybody going to think you sell pits and shit. So I was like, yeah, I don't want to be Duval Pits. So it was like Duval Bullies. This is 2014 type shit. So I was like, all right, cool. Duval Bullies. We just run with it. I got my logo made, you know what I'm saying? And that was pretty much it. I was just another dude, and just like everybody else getting their logo made, Duval Bullies. It was what it was. Had our little shirts. We went to the shows, did our thing, and, you know, just have fun. You know, I just loved Abkc because it was a shitload of people from the hood, you know what I'm saying? Like us, people like us that was just had the same common interest in the dogs, that wouldn't judge me for wearing t-shirts and jean shorts and some Jordans. And I ain't had to wear, you know, shirt and tie to the show like what I saw on TV. So, you know, that's kind of just how it started. And then eventually, you know, you got in with us, and, you know, shit just kept growing, you know what I'm saying? Shit, we just, with the help of everybody, we are who we are now.
So I didn't think Duval Bullies at the time. I wasn't even thinking about where we would be at right now. My mind state was Duval is a part of us, you know, as Jacksonville, Florida, you know, where when I first met you in 98, I was just coming out of prison, and we was in our wild days back then, and uh Duval was just us. Duval was more than just when you mention Duval, it's more than a kennel to us. You know, it's a mentality, it's a mindset, it's a city, and that we love. Where actually Tone lives at right now, uh, which I plan to move back to. That's just how strong that word, or what that word means, Duval, to us. Actually, I'm waiting for you to get that on your hand. What I did, yeah, what I did when I first, or somewhere on your neck, on your cheekbone, or something like that.
Small one,
So I mean, I remember being so proud. People didn't understand when I got that tattoo on my hand that it was just more than kennel group. You know, Duval Bullies. My name was Joey Duval in 2000. You know, that was my nickname. That to this day, there's people that think my name is Joey Duval, and you know, they thought that was my real name. But that's just how much Duval means to us. I know it means a lot to you, even though you're from New York. You live most of your life in Jacksonville, and it's just the city. Just it's just something about that city that makes you want to represent. You know,
I never intended, you know, for Duval to become, you know, what it is today. Just branch out to all these different people in different states and different countries, and you know, it just became, you know, with the work that we all done started doing. You know, people started seeing the love and support we was having for each other at the shows, and was like, damn, shit, I want to be part of that. It's like, shit, y'all ain't from Duval though. You know, it's like, man, shit, Joel ain't from Duval. Like, yeah, he is, but shit, well, shit, he live up here with us. Like, well, you're right. All right, well, shit, maybe we can do something. And
right?
So we started adding, you know, a few members, Nick, Jerome, and so on and so on. You know what I'm saying? And
Very strong members. We we're a very strong crew, man, and it's an honor to be a part of it, man. All of the help, the love, you know. And can you explain how important it is to a kennel group to have a stud, which is Waffle House, be the main focus of this group, to do the breedings around, to the point where he was actually, his silhouette is our logo for Be the Wave. Can you explain how important it is to have that one stud to be the focal point of a kennel group?
I never intended it for it to be like that. So it's kind of like people who use Waffle House along the years just loved what they had, and then eventually became part of our group. And you know, Nick bred to Waffle House, and then he became a group of part of our group, and so on and so on. And you know, people just who had puppies off of Waffle, And then you started doing your own breedings, and people within our crew started doing their own breeds within the blood. So it never, I know it might seem like we base it all around Waffle. It came out like that, but it never was intended that way. Plus, he became one of the best studs in the game, so it just worked out for all of us.
So what award did you just get for Waffle House?
Best producer. I'm not sure what year or for what it's for. It just from my peers from our peers who go to the dog shows, judges and hosts, who thought of that to give that to us was pretty thoughtful. And it comes from promoting. There's other dogs I'm sure that produce great and probably have more puppies than Waffle House and all this shit. But it's all about how you promote your dogs. You know what I'm saying? So if you reach enough people, eventually, you'll be noticed by your peers. So it's a great feeling to be noticed. But again, we just do this shit because we enjoy it. I never intended to have the best stud in the world, or not that he is, or anything like that.
Nah, he is. You're just being humble. He is. He's definitely the best. He's definitely. But I say the dog behind him is Brim coming up. That's producing quality dogs as well. That's hitting his stride in the show ring as far as producing champions and grand champions. I think the next dog behind him is Brim. So so I honors to Brim, man, because he's right there too, doing it with that female that he had in Virginia, man, that was doing it up, man. That was an amazing thing to watch as well, man.
Yeah, so it's part of the game, man. Everybody gotta promote your shit, man. You gotta get your stuff out there. Whether you got a regular dog or a great dog, what you think is regular might be great to somebody. You just gotta keep on promoting, man. Shit.
So all right, so all of these dogs, Waffle House, World Star. What made you get into the French Bulldogs? Your first French Bulldog, I remember you said is coming from Russia, and you told me the price, and I was like, "Yo, that's crazy!" But this is your first dog shipped from another country. Could you tell us about how you got into the French Bulldogs?
I pretty much just got it for my wife. That way she could have something to show her, something to call her own, and something to start her kennel business, should I say, in the dog game, where she can make choices of breedings and what she wants to do and things like that. And started out like that, just getting my wife a dog, and he became really good in the show ring. She became number one. My daughter got involved.
Can you name this dog for us, please?
Iggy. Yeah, Iggy Smalls. We got her from Russia, and she became number one French Bulldog in last year or the year before.
Year before last, yep.
I guess last year don't even count since it wasn't no last year. But the last time we had a show year, she was number one. And, it got my kids more involved as far as being able to handle dogs much easier. So that's kind of how Christine got involved. They always been involved some way trying to handle the puppies and things like that and dogs that I would train. But it was always too hard for them as they were little kids. So as they got bigger, the Frenchie was way easier. And we wound up breeding Iggy, having Hero. And that became my daughter's dog. Obviously, she's doing great things with Hero now. And it kind of became more for my girls and my wife. So I'm still the bully guy, and they're more of the Frenchie people. That's why my daughter handles the Frenchies, and they do the Frenchies and shit like that. And I do when they need help now. But I started off handling Iggy because that was just my thing at the time.
So you giving your daughter a dog, she basically got more engulfed into the breed and to showing the breed when Grand Champion Hero came into play.
Right. Yeah. Once she got her own dog, then that's when she was able to start learning about training and learning more about the breed standard and studying the standard and things like that. Yeah.
Because she I remember I can't remember what show it was, if it y'all came to Allentown. I don't think it was Allentown. I think it was North Carolina, where she had this book, and the book broke down the French. Go ahead, do what you do. It this ain't, you can do what you do, man. You eat your ice cream on the, it's all good, man. Do what you do.
Yeah.
uh but uh the she had a book. Christine had a book, and she drew out the French bulldog, and she had all of the parts of the anatomy pointed out. And right then and there, I said, "Yo, this girl's gonna kill it. Give her a year or two, man. This girl is gonna be uh, one of the top handlers in the ABKC period." So when I first seen that, I noticed the seriousness of Christine and her coming into her own when it came to the French Bulldogs. Uh, can you explain how happy you are to see your daughters doing what they're doing with these dogs?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome, man. I mean, that's pretty much what I what I did it for. In the beginning, it was just for me, just having fun, doing a hobby, and then getting my kids and my wife involved. It made it more enjoyable now. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to do all the work either. That's the best part.
But it came from your toolage. You basically, I see how you were on them to the point where now you don't even have to. You could just sit back and put your hands behind your head and watch the work happen. Now, that has to be a great moment for you, man, to watch your daughter take it to a whole nother level where she's getting best in shows in the ring with adults.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's awesome, man. I mean, just to have gotten Hero back, and the things they've done together since that time, and doing all the winning, and just the bond that they've grown outside of the wins is is awesome. You know what I'm saying?
So pre, which is your wife, uh, she she is a very strong point, which is like your backbone in this dog world, your whole dog journey. She's been with you hand in hand the whole time. Can
Right.
you I've talked about this a lot, how important it is to have somebody in your life that can help you navigate the way you need to navigate within this dog world. How important it is to have that person. Can you explain to us how important that is to have somebody like Pre in your life, man, that's just as passionate as you are with these dogs?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the biggest part of everything we're doing. From day one, she's been there. Whether it's just cheerleading or taking a dog to go use the bathroom, or feeding dogs, or giving dogs baths, or helping with grooming, to actually handling and getting her own dogs, getting in the ring. And now we're able to make the moves we're able to make, as far as me running to the vet as much as I do, and having somebody to stay home and watch the dogs and do things that needs to be done, or while she goes to the shows and takes Christine to the shows, I'm able to still stay home and handle business and do breedings or whatever I need to do. So, I mean, it's a huge part. I mean, I would think everybody needs a better half, in this game to succeed, because it's overwhelming. When you start getting too many dogs, and you're doing breedings, you're doing studs, and you're doing this, you're doing that. One person can't do it all. You know what I'm saying? You can't train the dogs, you can't feed the dogs, you can't whelp the puppies, you can't hit the shows, without neglect somewhere. So, with having both my kids involved, my wife, kennel partners, you know what I'm saying? Just got everybody involved right now. Marco's here in town, Caleb's in town. So we got so many people that assist us. But definitely, you know, my wife is probably the biggest, you know,
Part
support.
of what's going on in your program right now.
You know,
Yeah,
I've
man,
been,
that's a blessing to have a woman in your life that has your back through it all. I mean, she has your back regardless. I mean, so that's a beautiful thing. So the French bulldog, your French bulldog career has taken off, you know, and it's taken off from the jump. And the reason why I feel like it's taken off is because dedication of the work. So I'm gonna say this: anybody in the comment section, if you have any questions for Tone, please go ahead and type it in so we can go ahead and ask him. If you want to know anything real quick, we're gonna probably be on for another 15 minutes. So could you possibly, if you have any questions, type it in for Tone. So your training method. I know you don't want to give up all your secrets, all your tips, but for your training method, what would you give to the newbies just starting out with dogs to get their show career started?
I mean, they're dogs, you know what I'm saying? So repetition is the best thing you can do, is doing the same thing daily and rewarding your dogs. A lot of people done it different ways. We found that doing it with love um, and kindness to the dogs and treating them, you know, work best for us. But just doing repetition, that's kind of what got me in popular in the handling. You know, I've seen a lot of handlers be aggressive with dogs and pop the chain and, you know, snatch the muzzle up. And, you know, I always hug the dog and love the dog and pet the dog and just try to build that quick bond with that dog real quick and then get that trust. As long as that dog trusts you, then, you know, you can pretty much get the dog to do anything as long as you do repetition and keep doing the same thing daily and, you know, make it fun for the dog. And it's not a job and it's more of a game, than the dog enjoy it.
Okay, so the first question we have right here in the group in the chat is there a difference between the Abkc style Frenchie and the AKC?
Right now the difference is probably they looking for a little bit more breed type in the Abkc, as far not breed type, but just more mass, a little bit more bone. Um, the weight is a couple pounds heavier. It's like 28 pounds in the AKC, and the Abkc is 30 pounds. But outside of that, the standard's pretty much the same. Abkc accepts a couple different colors, well, a few more colors than AKC does, but standard's pretty much the same. Just differences, few colors, weight, and girth. But
Okay, so
we breed for AKC style and just bring our AKC style French bulldogs to the Abkc and do what we do.
so another question which I was going to get to, um, the situation, the whole experience with Crayola and Hero in the car after the show. Can you go into that? How you went after a show? It was in Connors, Georgia. You went to a, um, a gas station where Christine went inside to get changed from her show gear to more relaxed gear. And you went in to check on her because it was you was worried about your daughter, which is understanding, but you made a small slip up by just running inside, and somebody. But you had a nice, what was it, a red? What kind of car was it?
Yeah, we rented a Charger. It just so happened to be the only car that they had that weekend, and it was just me, Christine, and two dogs, and then my brother Jermaine wound up driving trucks. And he wound up getting dropped off at that show to ride back with us, and they stole the car, had the dogs in it. So yeah, I mean, just to make a long story short, they stole the dogs, and we went through a whole movie to get him back. It was pretty eventful. It was stressful, but it's kind of unbelievable, that they took the dog from one county in the state to a whole nother 30 minutes away, and we were still able to find these dogs. They separated them, and just putting hella pressure on people, and banging some doors and just not stopping. Like most people would, just put signs up and just pray. We was actually banging on doors and scaring some people up. So we got the dogs back, and yeah, it was a miracle.
It definitely was a miracle, and I'd like to take this moment, and probably you feel the same way, to give a shout out to the whole bully community, because they all band together and
Sure.
put pressure on the law enforcement in Georgia to get this day. Yo, let's get this shit going, because we're gonna have people coming over here blowing up cars. We're gonna be setting shit on fire.
That was the main thing. I mean, the community is what pushed it, because once the news clip released and everybody seen us on the news and it kind of became real, it was like, damn, what I'm saying? They really did get their car stolen. They really did get their dogs taken. And then people started sharing the stories. People started sharing the news clip, and people started posting and making their own posts. Lost dog. And, slowly but surely, I mean, we got 200,000 people involved from this bully community, of people I don't even know, who become my friends now. And, just the shares, the calls, people were emailing this police station, just putting hella pressure on not only while we were knocking on these doors and doing what we was doing, they was on the social media end, making these people hide these dogs, So it was like, and they made the police do their job, where without the community, nobody would have really did nothing. It would have just been some lost dogs, and we would have just did it the street way. But having the community do it the way they did it, putting the pressure on the cops and all that stuff, it kicked it up a notch. And, it was actually a crazy catch how they got Crayola back. But, y'all just have to tune into the movie for that.
Okay, the next question is, how did you become a dog professional handler? And how long? There's another question that basically is that's right there, and it basically says, how long have you been a professional handler as well?
I still don't consider myself a professional handler. I just do it, and I feel like I'm, I just have a good bond with dogs. But yeah, it started way back then in the beginning. I got Snoop. I worked hard as hell with him. And 2014-15 area, I made a couple posts about wanting to handle. I do it for free. Nobody really wanted to hire me. I was nobody, just like the new handlers that come up. And just like I told y'all earlier, judges told me don't handle crappy dogs because, it makes everybody look bad. So the current handler,
and your name is on it as well too.
Right. So a lot of those handlers at that time were turning dogs down, and I was taking those dogs. And then I would just so happen to win with some of those dogs that was turned down. And that's kind of how my name began. I started champing dogs out. I was doing it for free, strictly for the passion. And then as I started hiring more clients, people started hiring me, and I'm like, shit, calling me to train dogs. I was like, all right, the hell with it. I'm a dog trainer now. I'm going to start training dogs. So I'm working a full-time job, coming home, training all these dogs, hitting shows. And it just kind of happened, I kept winning and winning. And the more you travel, if you stay going to the same, you live in Mississippi, you only hit Mississippi shows, you're a Mississippi handler, You go to Mississippi, you go to Atlanta, you go to Florida, you go to Virginia, you're in Cali, you're in Texas. I was everywhere, And I would pull up with dogs. I would show dogs for people that the judges wasn't telling me not to handle crappy dogs at that time. So I would handle anything. I'll take the squirrel in the way. So I would just handle whatever, was out there. And, eventually, I got good dogs and started winning big shit.
All right. So another question we have which is going to be our last question for the night. It says, Tone, you rather show dogs or do different breedings?
I don't know what different breedings are, but I'm assuming you mean just do breedings or show dogs.
I guess American bullies and French bulldogs as a whole. I guess that's what they're asking.
Well, I do breedings to show dogs. So I do my breedings to create show dogs to get the next dog. I'm still trying to get another world star. I'm still trying to create another Waffle House, a dog that can produce as well as Waffle House. And I'm trying to get my kids better dogs to show. So, I do my breedings to get better show dogs. So I'm not gonna stop showing. That's what we do, and we breed to win.
Can we talk about this movie that's about to happen? Can we speak on that?
It was a joke, but
you know what I mean.
But a TV show, I don't know what's going on with the TV show. We did the little filming thing. I can't speak too much on it because of contract shit, but I'm not sure all the details in it. But it looks good. It looks like it's gonna happen eventually. We'll be doing like some type of a dog show, TV show with A&E, and hopefully it works out, and we'll be on TV. But it won't be about hero and Crayola story. It'll be more about the life we all live. As far as working.
American bully handlers or French bulldog handlers in the Abkc.
Just showing in general, the life we live as far as preparing our dogs for shows, hitting the road, competitions, the drama in our community, competing with people and things like that. It'll be a little bit of everything we all deal with.
Hopefully we can come back to another interview when you're this big reality show star. We can come back to it and speak on that. And I have a celebrity on my podcast at that time.
Hopefully. I mean, I don't want to be no celebrity like that. I rather.
Hey, y'all already won. I mean, I know you're being humble, but man, you're already like a big name in the dog game. I remember, I think it was 2016. I went to a show. I'm not gonna say who it was, and I was like, "Yo, Tone champed out so and so dogs in the Abkc," and somebody sat back and was like, it was a female. She said, "Who is Tone?" I said, "Tone Roldan," and this was somebody that was in the game for a minute. She was like, "I don't know who that is," but I think that was a little bit of shade versus her actually really knowing who you were or what or not. But I think that was a little bit of shade, but they know who you are now. So that's the thing. I mean, you get so many messages. You're up to like 54,000, 53,000 followers on Instagram. That is a huge thing, man, to have that many followers on Instagram. So his name is Tone Lokester on Instagram. You want to give everybody your feed on Instagram, because I know your Facebook is no bueno right there. So could you give them the information on your Instagram feed?
Yeah, Instagram is Duval Bullies at Tone Lokester, ToneLokster, and or you can check us out on DuvalBullies.com, or we have a like page as well, Duval Bullies handling and training.
All right, man. Hey, man, I don't want to hold up too much of your time. We already been on here for almost 2 hours. It probably didn't seem like it to me, man.
My ass is killing me.
So we're gonna let you go so you can put some of that ass cream on yourself, man. We don't want you to flare up them hemorrhoids that you got over there.
All right, Tenfo, appreciate you having
me.
I
love you, man. Thank you so much for blessing us with your with this interview, man. I really appreciate it, man. So you have a blessed day, and give everybody your Instagram feed one more time.
Duval Bullies at Tone Lokester. Follow your boy, I'll follow you back.
All right, fam. So I'm gonna hit you up after this, fam.
All right, appreciate you.
Right. Yep, you be easy.
I lead this shit.
Yep, I got you. All right, so I'd like to thank Tone Roldan for being a part of that show, man. I mean, if you realize, I mean, me and this dude are brothers, man. We this is we have regular conversations all the time, man. This was like a really easy interview. I didn't have to write down anything. This is more of a freestyle, top of my dome, speaking to him because I know the story. You know, I know the work that he's put in. Uh, he's been into the game maybe 10 years, and he was in it 4 years before me, about 3 years before me. Um, and I've been there during the journey that he's had with these dogs. So I'm a witness, which a lot of you are a witness as well. And it's such a blessing to where that I can reach out to him and just call him, and it's just deeper than dogs because I know his family. I know I'm friends with his cousins, you know, aunts, uncles. So it's deeper than dogs. So this conversation was more. This interview was more than an interview. It was basically to introduce y'all with Tone at a more intimate at a more intimate moment where he could share more with y'all because he's not able to talk to everybody because it's a lot of people that's hitting him up to for all kind of questions, all kind of tips and tricks, you know. So thank you for coming on to this show and taking time out of your busy life, man, and risking your ass on that hard ass chair, man. Get a cushion, god damn it, you know, so you can sit down on. Next time we come on here when you're a reality television show star, man. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining in to this podcast. We're gonna do 2 times a week. We're gonna do this podcast now. We're gonna ramp it up to 2 times a week. We're gonna do on I'm thinking Mondays, and we're gonna do Fridays. I was doing Wednesdays, but we're just gonna do Mondays because I want to spread it out. Wednesday and Friday is a little bit too close, so I want to do Mondays at 8 o'clock and Fridays at 8 o'clock, so we can ramp this podcast up a little bit more. I'd like to again thank does anybody have any questions for me in the comment sections before I bounce out? I learned a lot from Tone, man. I learned a lot from him. I learned plenty from him, man. And a lot of us at Duval Bullies have learned a lot as far as patience, as far as, you know, how to navigate with promotion and all of that stuff, man. So it's just a blessing, man, to be a part of this Duval Bullies group, to be a part of the Abkc, just this dog world period, man. It's a blessing to be a part, not just a part, being a focal part. And this dog world is just amazing, man. We never thought that it would even get this far because we didn't even really care about that at that moment. We cared about the dogs. We cared about the people within Duval Bullies. That's what we cared about, you know, and the passion that that we needed to bring to the show ring, to social media, and into our lives. These dogs have changed our lives, which a lot of y'all watching as well. These dogs have changed the perception of how we look at life. So yes, thank you so much, Chris. Thank you. So we're gonna end it here. I'd like to thank everybody again for joining the podcast. I'm going to figure out a giveaway for our next podcast. So please tell your friends. Please subscribe to our YouTube page so we can keep this thing going. Please subscribe and like the videos. That's what keeps us on top of the algorithms of this dog page, man, of this YouTube. So we definitely need the likes, we definitely need the follows, the subscriptions. So please share from YouTube, not on the on from the Facebook, please go to our YouTube page and share these videos on different groups. Please share and please have your friends subscribe so we can keep this thing going, man. We can keep this thing popping. All right. Y'all take it easy, man. Y'all have a blessed Friday, and we up out of here.